Hi guys, welcome to day 6 of functions and function transformations. We are actually going to get into some function transformations today for the first time. So if you can make sure the very first thing you do is write down that CLO right here in your student understanding log. And while you're at it, make sure that whole thing is filled out. That's going to be worth a lot of points when we are done with this unit. Okay? So write that down first, and then I'm just going to show you how to get started. You'll also make sure that you have these 2 pages in front of you. They should be front and back. Absolute value graphs and quadratic graphs, and we're going to be doing those 2 today. Okay, so looking at the quadratic functions exploration, the first thing says using a calculator, graph the function of x squared. Sketch the graph on the grid using 5 exact points. Okay, so, actually, should I do that with you? On your calculator. And the reason I wanted to start this today was because I noticed before that you guys were having a hard time taking a graph on your calculator and moving it to a graph paper on your last test. Not the quiz, but the test. You just kind of sketched it, which is fine sometimes, but this wants you to use exact points, so I want to make sure that you can do that. Or you could just make the table by hand, which for x squared, the parent function, bonus points if you write parent function down on a sticky and stick it up over missing work with your name even though it's not missing. Because x squared is pretty easy. So go to y equals, and I'm just going to make this a lot smaller here. And I'm going to put in x squared, okay? And then I'm just going to go to the table. But actually, if I do second and then table set right here, okay, okay, good. I'm starting at 0 for my table, and I'm counting by 1, and that's always a good place to start. And then I can actually second table, look at my table. And I want to go back just a little bit into the negatives here, okay, using 5 exact points. So I want to go from -2 to +2. So here we go. And I'm going to go here so that I can look and do a graph at the same time. You'll have a grid with exact points on there, so you guys won't have to, hold on one second. I have to pause and take it off of eraser. And I'm back. Okay, so you will have an exact grid. This is just, the one I'm drawing is just going to be freehand, so yours should look much better. And I said I'm going to go from -2. And I noticed just a few of you were having a problem still with your number lines. Okay, there's always 1 on the wall. Make sure it's 0 in the middle, and it's going up 1, 2, 3 on the positive side, and going down -1, -2. And the numbers to the left are smaller. So -2 is smaller than -1. +1 is bigger than +2. If that was a waste of your time, I'm sorry. But let's start -2, and then it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, good. Perfect here. So I put a point right there, right? Then -1, +1. Oh, okay. +1. Then 0, 0. +1, +1. And 2, +4. Okay, and this is a parabola, and I know we did these last year, and what's cool about it is because x squared, you're going to get the same answer whether your x is -2, because -2 squared is +4, or +2, because +2 squared is also +4, and that you can make a connection with absolute value there, right? Because both answers, the negative and the positive, give you a positive answer. Just like absolute value, if I have the absolute value of -4, my answer is going to be +4. And the absolute value of positive 4 is still positive 4. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up on how to do a graph like we did here using the table in the calculator. Maybe I should go over one really quickly of the absolute value problems. Okay, just this vertex here, when it's asking for the vertex, if you graph it on your calculator, that's going to be the point of the V. All absolute value parent functions, there's that word again, don't forget to put that sticky note up when you're done with this. Parent functions are going to look like a V, just like all parent functions of parabolas are going to look like curves, like U's. So you can go ahead and graph these on your calculator. The vertex is going to be the point where that V is. You can trace it over. So if I pull up the calculator and I do, instead of x squared, I do the absolute value of x. Oh, and I'm glad that we're doing this because to do the absolute value, you have to go into the math button here and then arrow over to number, and number 1, abs, is absolute value. Enter. So I'm going to do the absolute value of x. I think the newer calculators, your calculators will give you straight lines. Okay. And then let's look at what this graph looks like. See, it's a V more than the U that you get for parabola, the parent function here. And if you trace that, there's the vertex right there. At the V is 0, 0. Okay, that's going to be different than this one here you have on the practice sheet, but you can graph that. And then down here, it wants you to graph the functions and just do it the same way that we did with the quadratic. All right, if you have any questions, I should be standing in front of you.